All right, guys, we are live inside the MPC software once again. Our object here is just to show you guys that it's very possible to get complex melodies by just clicking in some notes using the MPC hardware plus clicking in the notes. Some of you guys may not be able to play the piano, you know? If you can't maneuver your way through the piano, then it's very possible to get the same authentic feel just by using the hardware, the pad perform in the hardware, and also clicking in some notes to make your melody sound nice. So let's do that. We're going to use the same piano that I have pulled up. It's a real nice piano. And we're going to use the hardware to come up with some chords, you know, in the pad perform mode. And then we're going to click in a few things without even using the keyboard just to see if we can do it. If you put the MPC in pad perform mode, that's just going to the pad perform mode button. Once you pick your instrument, we're going to be working in F sharp, and then I go up here and click it in chords. That way it plays the F sharp minor chords. This is notes. This is chords. Okay, and we're just going to come up with some simple chords, lay down some chords, and then we're going to go back and click in a few things just to make a melody. So let's do it. Okay, that's our chords, very simple. Just in case you guys are wondering, I went down here and I clicked this little tab right here, the bottom panel, and it lets you see the MIDI, your MIDI notes a bit better. It erases this screen right here, and it drops down your MIDI note screen. That way you can see everything better, just in case you want to work like this. You know, and if you're working on a smaller screen like a laptop or something like that, then you can kind of get a full picture of your MIDI notes and don't have to worry about this little small screen right here. So now we're going to take these chords and then we're going to click in a few little melodies, you know, just to kind of see if we can come up with something. So I know I'm working in the F sharp, which is here. You know, that's this chord right here. So I'm going to click on this chord and I'm going to find that next octave up with the F sharp. So I'm going to hold down Alt to where I can copy it and then drag it up. This is the next F. And then this is the next step. This is what we're going to be working, and we're going to make our melody. So you can already hear that it kind of gives it a nice little melodic feel when you go into a higher octave. So let's see if we can come up with something. Now that we got this little bitty small melody here, it's like a little tree that we made. We're going to extend the notes that way they kind of glide into each other. See, this note starts, and then this note glides into this note. They don't end like this, to where one ends and then it stops, and then it starts. It's going to glide into the next note. So they kind of overlap each other. That's what glide means. That way it has kind of like an authentic piano feel, versus if you don't do it and you just leave them short like this, it's gonna have like just a pluck feel. It's just dum 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 dum. You know, now you can glide it into each other and kind of give it a classic piano feel. Okay. Now when I'm doing this right here, what I like to do is I like to replay the melody, and then I like to hum my next notes and then match what I'm humming to the piano roll here. So this is how I want it to go. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. There it is. Let's put a note in between here as well. There it is. See, so you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm humming the notes in advance as to what I'm hearing. I'm making the melody in my head, and then I'm getting what I'm humming to match the piano roll when I click it in. There it is. So that's it. I just hum the notes, hum it out in my head in advance as I'm playing it, what I want the next notes to be, and then I just match that on the piano roll when I'm humming. So what I do is I usually work right here until 5-1 because I know this is the middle of the bar. See, we've done all of this. If you look at this this bar up here, this is the loop, how it's gonna loop. So I know I've done already half. I have half of my melody. Okay, so now what I want to do is duplicate it to the other half, duplicate the melody to the other half. So I go here and I highlight everything, make sure all of the notes are highlighted, and then I hit Control D, and then it's going to duplicate that to the next half of the bar. I have to make sure that it's all the way over. So let's do that. See how it starts? It starts on the second beat there, right here. So I got to make sure that the first bar starts on the second beat, 5-1. It starts on 5-2. Starting on 1-1. 5 is the next half of the bar. So I want it to start on 5-2 like it's starting on 1-2. So use these numbers up here to guide you. You'll know. See 1-3, that would be 1-3 would be 5-3. 2-1 would be 6-1. 3-1 would be 7-1. And then 4-1 would be 8-1. So that's how I know where I want the notes to fall like in my first half. And then what I do is, so I don't have to keep rewinding back to the beginning to play it out, I shrink this down to 5-1. That way all I'm working with is just this, because I want to alter the ending of this to kind of give it a different feel. That way it's not robotic. It's not doing the same thing over again. I'm going to go higher with this though. There it is. See, I just hummed that out. All right, there we go. Now we have our melody done. Let's play the whole thing. Let's stretch this back out to 1-1. That way it loops the whole thing and see how it sounds. There we go. All right, now that I have the melody nice and good and it's kind of swinging and I have a good idea for what I want to do with it, now I'm going to concentrate on the effects now, which I have pulled up right here. This is the effects on the track. I have a few that I already used, so I'm going to go through those and show you how I get that authentic piano type vibe to where it sounds nice. So the first thing that I do is I have a delay sync that I use. This is the original Akai delay sync. I use this plugin a lot. And what I do is I turn the dry wet down just a bit, you know, because I want the dry is my actual piano sound. The wet is the actual delay sound. So wet would be having the delay sound all the way up and none of my sound. So I want my sound to come out a bit more and the delay to be in the background. So I turn the dry wet down a little bit and then I increase the time to 1/8 because I want the delay to go instead of going with a 1/4. So I increase it to 1/8. That way it's consecutive and it's quick. And then the feedback I turn down because I don't want it to carry out. The feedback is how long the delay trails. I just want it to be a few delays, not a lot. And then I keep the dampening where it is. And I'm going to show you what that sounds like. I'm going to increase the dry wet so you can hear an exaggerated effect of what it's doing. See, I turn it down to where you barely can hear it and it's in the background. It kind of gives that piano just a little bit of a bump at the end. The notes aren't just stopping. It kind of carries a little bit. And then the next thing I use is the reverb, the Akai reverb, the large reverb. Again, I turn the dry wet down because I don't want the reverb sound to be overpowering. So I turn it down a little, you know, to about 20, 26. I turn up the pre-delay. Always remember the pre-delay because the pre-delay is if you want the reverb to come in when your sound hits or if you want it to come in a little bit after your sound hits. So I turn up the pre-delay because I want my piano sound to hit first and then the reverb to come right in after. And then I keep everything as is. And let's turn that on and let's see how that sounds. Kind of makes it dreamy, you know, airy, has that airy vibe to it. And then I use this plugin. This is the Isotope Vinyl plugin. This plugin you'll see a lot of people use it in their music production. It kind of gives your regular VST instruments kind of like a vinyl feel, you know, like as if it was on a vinyl record, you know. And this plugin is really good because it gives you that authentic feel, you know. It doesn't keep your instruments too clean. It kind of warps it just a little bit and you can control how much. And that's what I use here. If you notice right here, this is what I use the most, this warp depth, this warp depth. And then I use this knob here, the year. And this kind of controls like the low end of the piano. So I'll show you what that does. Let's turn that on. So you can kind of hear how it warps it a bit, you know, when you turn it all the way up. So I just turned it up to about 18, just a little bit. I don't want it to be too warped. And then this knob here, the year, watch what this does. kind of gives you the different years that records were kind of tailored in, you know. So I kind of like to use the middle one, the 1970, because it takes a lot of the bass of the piano out. So now I have kind of like an authentic feel on my piano. You know, it's kind of like it's vibing really, really nice. And now we're going to go back to the actual piano roll, and we're going to click in the lower bass notes. You know, these down here. That way we kind of have a nice, thick, full, rich sound. That's what the bass notes are going to give it. So again, same way I started up here, you know, in the same scale, I'm going to do the same thing. This is my F sharp right here. This is where we're starting. So I'm going to hold down Alt and duplicate this down to the next. Okay. And again, I'm going to use the same method. I'm going to hum out what I want it to do. Let's do this. Let's let this come in here. And then it starts all over again with 5-1 right here. See, 5-1 is where this note and this note match. So we can actually delete this note and then we'll duplicate it again. Control D, and that duplicates it. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go down here, shrink this down to 5-1. That way we're only going to loop just this section because we want to change up this ending here. Same way we did with the melody. There it is. This is our bass notes. Now we have it. So let's loop this out. Now we have a nice full melody arrangement right here, and it's nice and ready to go. All right, what I want to do now to get it more authentic is I want to change the velocities. These are the velocity. This is the velocity down here of every note. These lines here, and you can raise them. You can raise all of the notes, whichever ones. That way they don't all hit at the same level. Right now, everything is just robotic on the same level. So the way I do this is I just randomly I hold shift and randomly pick notes. You know, not too many. Normally when I have a double note here together, then I pick the first note. Just random notes. Double note here, pick the first one. Few of these, and then double note here. Let's see, click this one, and the double note there. And then we're going to just lower the velocity here, just a bit, not too much. I'm going to do the same thing with the bass notes. I'm going to highlight all of my bass notes down here because I don't want those hitting too much. I want it to kind of back up the chords. So let's lower those down just a bit as well. Nice. Now we have a whole human feel that's going on with our melody. It's a nice complex arrangement. And the next thing that I want to start doing is EQing. So I'll go over here, my last effect, I want to put on my EQ. Let's grab my EQ. And then we're going to just EQ the melody. There we are. I shaved off all of the low end to get all of that low end rumble out of the piano, and I boost up just a bit of the mid low just to kind of give it a little jump. I found these howling frequencies, some of that resonance, so I dipped those out right here in these two, and then I shaved off a bit of the bright end of the piano. That way when I lay more instruments on top of this, it doesn't clash with anything. So now we're ready. We have the whole melody done, and it's a nice complex arrangement, and we can make a nice beat off of this melody. All right, let's get some drums rocking on this thing. All right, let's drop some 808s on the track and get it rocking. Nice gritty 808. Let's do it.